Traps. They're sort of like a lost art form. The art of trapping in Minecraft was once a highly debated topic, with various designs, strategies, and techniques used to outsmart mobs and players. When redstone was but a new feature to the game, its limited abilities at the time were put to great use by players who would document and share with others on the forums the traps they created on SMPs. Some players even exploited Minecraft's mechanics to build traps that would look seemingly normal from afar and use mobs to detect when a player was nearby. But alas, as players grew wiser and the game became more popular, the once renowned art of Minecraft trapping was mostly lost. Today we're going to be talking about the unknown history of Minecraft traps. No, not these ones. And the various designs players used and shared all the way back in 2010 and 2011. From simple traps that would catch out new players, to detailed and hidden modern day traps that are actually impossible to escape. So let's begin. Oh, and make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. It really helps me out. No pressure. Kearshar, who you may know for being a pioneer of early Minecraft, creating various contraptions and discovering the piston dupe bug, created many early traps. The exploding bridge may very well be the first documented case of a trap intended to kill other humans on the internet. Baiting players into a false sense of security, this simple design intended to hide TNT under a bridge. When players would stumble upon the mostly hidden pressure plates, they would soon get blown to smithereens. Now, it's important to remember that trapping was very different back in Minecraft's earlier days, for a few reasons. Back in 2010, the game wasn't nearly as evolved, we didn't have pistons, redstone repeaters, tripwire hooks, and a variety of other Minecraft features, limiting our options. Fortunately, players were also quite dumb to say the least, and still believed Herobrine was a real thing. There was no sprinting or potions, players were also much more immobile. Traps were far more straightforward, with the skill behind them being how well you could hide the trap and compact it. Anyways, this design was actually a bit challenging to build back in alpha, as redstone repeaters did not exist yet, and as such, Kearshar had to time it and distance the TNT based on how fast the players could walk. It wouldn't be long until players would discover that they could use the infuriating physics-obeying properties of sand and gravel to their advantage. But pistons did not exist yet, so unless you went and manually plopped the sand or gravel over another player's head, there wasn't an easy way to set up the trap. Fortunately, torches had a unique feature in older beta versions of the game. While in modern Minecraft you use torches and slabs to quickly and satisfyingly remove annoying sand and gravel, torches used to be able to hold sand and gravel up. This allowed players to create this sort of inverse pyramid structure of sand or gravel, where torches would hold up the blocks like so. The mechanism to activate the trap was simple. The entire pyramid was supported by one torch, and upon breaking that torch, the sand would all fall. If set up right, you could hide the pyramid above a player and suffocate them, or even use the sand to hide a massive drop, which players would soon experience. It was then up to the player as to how they would trick their victim into accidentally destroying the torch. For example, you could trick the victim into destroying a block that allowed water to flow and break the torch. Even without the existence of pistons, players got incredibly creative with floating sand and gravel. An early video by Etho demonstrates a variety of sand-based traps utilizing signs, TNT, pressure plates, and more, placed in inconspicuous locations. The sign method is one such method that still works today, and works by placing signs like so, all connected to one sign, which when broken, will break them all. When used in conjunction with sand or gravel, it was quite effective. Early sand and gravel traps were really cool, as the only limitation was the player's creativity. Players would use sugarcane, water, and other various hidden blocks to trick victims, even going as far as detecting when a block was destroyed. The iron door trap may actually be the oldest trap on this list, but the first video footage I can find of isn't until mid-2011. Anyways, also known as the idiot trap, is very well known and functions by simply tricking the player into walking onto a pressure plate with 4 iron doors surrounding it. Upon walking on it, the doors close in, and the player, who probably doesn't have any tools or any knowledge about the game considering they fell for this stupid trap, is unable to leave. Interestingly, this trap initially used wooden doors and a redstone signal underneath to catch mobs and alert the player when they had caught something, but evolved to a player trap once players discovered iron doors. While this trap is stupid simple and obvious to anybody with half a brain, even to this day it still tricks newer or more curious Minecraft players.
Oh shit, it did work.
With the introduction of pistons to the game in late June of 2011, the potential for trapping skyrocketed. lots of traps became possible, utilizing pistons to make players fall, push players into lava or other dangerous areas, or even suffocate them with blocks. One impressive design by Kearshar utilized block updates that are triggered by walking on redstone ore to activate pistons below your feet and send you falling into lava. This one's practically impossible to see coming as well. Etho also made a good door trap related video where he showcases various traps using the bud switch mechanic, which is where pistons can receive power diagonally but don't activate until updated. He would use this to make pistons activate upon opening doors and send the player falling into lava. Other players would also use bud-based piston trap designs, but with a chest instead. This was before trap chests existed, might I add. There are lots of traps you can make with pistons, and the only limitation once again is players' creativity. Probably one of the most interesting and unique traps I've ever seen is the proximity trap, also known as the 100% undetectable trap created by SethBling. In old Minecraft versions, passive mobs such as cows had a 32 block movement limit, whereby if there wasn't a player within 32 blocks of the mob, it would stand perfectly still and do nothing. Utilizing this trick, you could set up a passive mob such as a cow within 32 blocks of your trap area. When a player walks by it, it would move onto a pressure plate and send a redstone signal to your trap, activating it. SethBling also used this design to create a base security system, where if a player walked within 32 blocks of your base, it would trigger an alarm of some sort, alerting you that an intruder was afoot. Tripwire hooks were added to the game in mid-2012, and with that we finally had a traditional trap in the game. With tripwire hooks, even Mojang would implement a naturally spawning trap in the game, used in jungle temples. Tripwire hooks acted as player/entity detectors, meaning we no longer needed to rely on cows to do so, and could be hooked up to any redstone circuit you wanted, whether it be a dispenser loaded with arrows or another piston trap. Various designs would circulate on the internet utilizing tripwire hooks, but they were all very similar in nature, and as such, pretty boring to talk about. Same goes for trap chests, which were added in 2013. They were designed for trapping, I mean it's literally in the item's name, but they were rarely used for such a purpose. Trap chests are obvious. They have this little red texture that makes them immediately distinguishable from normal chests, ruining a trap's surprise factor. It seems that whenever Mojang implements a feature which is almost solely designed for trapping or trap-related functions, it never gets used for that purpose. Trap chests were instead used by players as a means of placing chests next to each other before you could do that in 1.13. During 2013 and 2014, trapping as a whole largely lost popularity within Minecraft. Servers with protection became more popular, and blocks such as TNT and other trap items would be disabled. People stopped playing SMPs as much, instead playing more minigame related content where trapping wasn't really a thing. And the player base in general just got smarter and became more aware. Sort of. Oh crap. However, there was some saving graces: UHCs and Anarchy servers. With the popularity of UHCs increasing, so did its various trapping methods, one in particular being the obsidian block suffocating method. As you would all know, by placing a lava source block and a water source block next to each other, the lava source block gets turned into obsidian. Well, you can do this right over a player's head and cause them to be trapped or suffocate in the obsidian block, just like this. Now, the best thing about this trap is that it doesn't require any previous infrastructure or setup besides the lava and water bucket, and if you're skilled enough, you can really use this trap in any situation. Player tunneling to you, bam, trapped. Being chased by someone, dig a small tunnel, and end them. It's really only limited by player's skill, and some of the best UHC players really have mastered this trap. I'm sure many of you know the TNT run game mode, where you run over pressure plates that cause sand or gravel to fall due to activating the TNT below it. Well, before this game mode was a thing, this mechanic was originally used as a trap pioneered by YouTuber Grian. When TNT is activated, it becomes what's known as primed TNT, and abides by gravity, turning into a falling entity. When this happens, the sand or gravel supported by the TNT also falls, allowing you to make some very inconspicuous traps. Such traps were commonplace in Skywars, where players would hide redstone and TNT above an opening to the void, dropping players down to their certain death. However, when it comes to the most powerful or strongest traps, none other can compete with the likes of what we see on Anarchy servers such as 2b2t. Bed traps are one such method of trapping which utilize the bed's ability to respawn a player near it. There are multiple ways of bed trapping. The first is to build a mechanism which activates a piston when a player sleeps in a bed. When a player dies and respawns at their bed, the default respawn position is northwest of the bed, but if this block is obstructed, the spawn will be slightly moved. By moving certain blocks into the bed's default spawn position, you can force a player to spawn on a specific block. This block then has lava on it, and as such when the player respawns, they respawn straight in lava, cannot break their bed, and also won't be able to break the blocks surrounding them, assuming they are stone. Every time they click respawn, they die, endlessly, forever. A terrible fate. In fact, it's common knowledge that the only worse punishment than being bed trapped is willingly playing League of Legends. Anyways, on Anarchy servers, bed traps can also be done through utilizing hacked clients with kill aura, so whenever a player respawns, they get automatically killed by an AFK player. In fact, Landon MC was bed trapped back in 2016 on 2b2t, which instigated the camping Russia to remove another player's veteran Q, causing a massive uprising, but that's a story for another time. Another method of trapping used on Anarchy servers is nether portal trapping. By creating a nether portal which leads to another nether portal that's filled in with obsidian on both portal exits, a player can never really leave, as they are forever in the portal. They can't break blocks fast enough or open chat. This trap is one of the most commonly used traps to catch new players on Anarchy servers. There is a method to escape, however. If you have a hacked client, by turning on FreeCam, you'll be able to use the chat once again and type /kill if the server allows it, allowing you to escape. But that about wraps it up for today. Let me know your favorite trap in the comments and subscribe as well while you're down there. Join my Discord and follow me on Twitter. Thank you all so much for watching.